All right, let's get down to business. I was going to talk about Resident Evil movies, honestly, but I really don't feel like it today. I'm kind of just going to skip over Resident Evil for today and talk about something else. Okay, so if you're so thirsty for Resident Evil content, my channel is full of it. So navigate the Resident Evil playlist and have fun. But today we're going to be talking about a quick bit, Cobra Kai. On the way to season 4, I would like to discuss where we're at now with it. If you've seen my Netflix Picks and Bricks, it's on part 1, The Picks, because it's a really good show. It's just made by someone who's salty, and we just have to accept that. And there's a lot of things. The way I like Cobra Kai is the way I like Merlin, which is another video I'm going to make for later. It's going to be long, so just be patient with that. I really want to get everything I want to say out of that. I really don't have to make multiple videos about Merlin, but I might, because I like it. But the reason why I like Merlin, it's not because, the characters are so smart. They're playing 3D chess. It's because it told a story and it ended. And I'm like, it really didn't have to end the way it did. It really didn't have to. But life goes on, and if they wanted to, they could have made another season. All the people who survived, when she literally she's Camelot's queen for years and years and years and years. So I really don't understand why they had to stop it there. Of course, I know why, because she's black. I'm pretty sure if she was white or Anglo, we would have had a whole nother season. We would have had a whole nother season of how Gwen did this, that, and the other. But they stopped it. Even the woman who plays Guinevere said, we're getting too old for this. No, you're not, though. I think they probably, if she said that, it may be what she believes personally in her heart, but I do believe 100% certain that they were like, we're done with this. We're really not going to start. And especially so many people who are gay like Merlin, and they queer baited the crap out of Merlin and Arthur. And I hate that whole getting them together. Stop putting people together who there's antagonizing going on. It's not teasing. It's not teasing. I shoot you in the face. I'm just teasing you. No. Arthur was abusive to Merlin. Merlin was his servant, his manservant. If he wanted to, he could have raped him, which is horrible. But the way I like Merlin is because the story was told in a way where it's just like, yeah, I hate that things are happening. I just want magic to be legal, but of course not. Things don't work overnight. Even though the prince becomes king, does not mean he's going to change things overnight. Does not mean he wants to change things overnight. They could have gone more in depth with his tether, because literally Arthur becomes king and still Camelot is still the way it was when Uther was king. Like, honestly, people are still coming trying to attack him because, yes, of course, genocide. But with Cobra Kai, let me talk about Cobra Kai. This isn't about Merlin. Cobra Kai, it tells a story, and you're like, okay, I just want them to be friends. I just want everything to work out, and it doesn't. It just doesn't, and that's fine. I'm not into Doom movies. Like, I consider Saw to be a Doom series because you can't get connected to anyone. If you like Kramer, he dies. Spoiler. If you like the dude that helps him, he dies. If you like the girl that helps him, she dies. You can't get connected to any character. The only character you can get connected to is literally the guy from the first movie. And I think that's hilarious. Saw has become a joke. And it's especially a joke now that Chris Rock is a part of it. And I'm not saying that comedians cannot be good actors. Robin Williams was one of the best actors in history. And he was still funny. He was still a comedian. Just, he can't do it. Chris Rock cannot do it. I can't take him seriously. Every time I hear his voice, I don't hear everybody hates Chris. You know who I hear? I hear the dude from Madagascar. I hear Marty or whatever. Marty from Madagascar. That's who I hear. Ben Stiller, I can hear him everywhere and not hear Alex the Lion. But for some reason, when I hear Chris Rock open his mouth, I hear Marty from Madagascar. It just doesn't work. But I'm not here to talk about Jigsaw. I'm here to literally talking everything about everything but Cobra Kai. But let's get into Cobra Kai, okay? So season 1 establishes the show as an individual. Like it's from the it's a spin-off series from The Karate Kid. And I've never seen the next Karate Kid, The Karate Kid 4. I've only seen 1 through 3. Of course not, because when they put girls and women into things, people act like they're the worst thing ever. But I honestly should give it a shot. I think the only reason why I didn't was because it was like for bi or something ridiculous. But honestly, they always do that. When people, listen, this is what I'm going to say. If people get mad that we're making things with women as well, shut up. Literally go freaking fly to Mars. And if you want to be in an all-male society, go with Elon Musk and fly to Mars. Because we're here. Get used to it. You came from a vagina. You came from your mother. Get used to it. Honestly. If you don't want women, then just say you don't want anyone to be born again. Bottom line. With Pac-Man, there's Mrs. Pac-Man, all that. Just get over it. But Cobra Kai, the first season establishes its own identity. The second season echoes sentiments from The Karate Kid 1. Season 3 echoes sentiments from The Karate Kid 2. So I hypothesize, based on this equation, season 4 will echo sentiments from The Karate Kid 3, which is why Terry Silver, or Sylvie, whatever his name is in it now. And there's a big thing. There's a huge thing. If you know the equation, just like if you know the Pythagorean theorem, you can solve anything, basically. But if you know the equation for Cobra Kai, you can guess what happens. I literally, between season 2 and 3, I knew how it was going to end. And if you're paying attention, of course it's easy. And it's like, there's a difference between being too predictable and being just the right amount of predictable. I think it's very entertaining. Just like I think Merlin is very entertaining. But there are different things that go into a show being good or not. Cobra Kai, I put on picks and not bricks for a reason. And it's not because of the potential. It's because of what we got. It's, like I said, it's entertaining. Like, I can't really get into what the problem I have with it is until I talk about the characters individually. So let's start with the LaRussos, okay? To start off, Cobra Kai is Johnny's story. The Karate Kid was Danny LaRusso's story. However, I can admit that this is Johnny's story, so I can take that into consideration when dealing with how well things go for him and how bad things go for Daniel. Danny, aka Daniel LaRusso, was always a quick talker. It makes logical sense that he becomes a car salesman, especially his interest in cars. Honestly, I didn't feel like cars was his thing, honestly. I just thought like, okay, the car happened once, it happened twice. They talked about it sometimes, but it's just like, okay, whatever. Let's just say he's a car salesman now. It just seemed like a plot device though. But like I said, I get it. He's my favorite character. He was never the bully. Regardless of his desire to seek revenge after being treated like crap, his character goes through self-building and changes throughout the trilogy. He's a decent father. He had a girl every summer, so he needs to chill with the scolding. You know, his daughter talking about, oh, that's the second boy in the row. What are you doing? Because that's your daughter. Freaking scrub. I love Daniel. But you know what? Freaking sit down, you thought. Because you had a girl every summer. All colors of the rainbow. Actually, no colors. It was just one Asian girl that one time. The rest of them were Anglo-Saxon, the Caucasus Mountain. I actually thought he would be with a black girl or like at least an Asian girl. And I actually thought he was going to cheat on his wife when he went to Okinawa. I thought he literally, I saw, but this show is all about subverting expectations. D&D could really take a hint from Cobra Kai because their subversion of expectations is at 1,000. Even though it's predictable, it's somehow subverting our expectations every time. You just have to watch it. I recommend it, even though there are some things about this show that I cannot stand for the life of me, and I will talk about them. It is a very good show, and I recommend it to anyone who loved The Karate Kid, or even people who don't. Go watch The Karate Kid first, because nothing will make sense. You cannot watch this without watching The Karate Kid. They keep making references every other time you turn around. But like I said, the first season establishes it as its own thing. So you can probably see the first season and be like, okay, but who are these people? The irony of things don't make sense. You don't get the full experience without watching Cobra Kai. And I do recommend you watching the girl one if you can watch it for free. I'm not buying that crap. So, like, honestly, I feel like she got a poor shake when it came to that, because if it wasn't Danielle LaRusso, no one was going to watch that crap. And of course, no one did. No one talks about the next Karate Kid. No one talks about her. And I'm pretty sure she may not even be in this thing. I actually thought the girl who was Johnny's ex-girlfriend, I guess, because they never got married, with his baby mama or whatever, I thought she was the next Karate Kid woman, but they just look kind of similar. And maybe they don't. Maybe they kind of look similar to me when I first saw her. But she's on crack, so I don't know. Or whatever she's on. But I digress. Daniel learns from his mistake and tends not to make them again in the same way. Most of his problems arise from misunderstandings and lack of communication, which I cannot stand. Please stop doing this. This is the easiest way to get on my nerves. Having these things where someone picks up a apple and eats it and then throws it in the air, and then someone hits their head, and then, oh my goodness, the sky's falling. Like, stop making situations where it's just like a domino effect of bad decision making and no communication whatsoever. When communication happens, literally things get solved. Literally things get solved in this show. When no communication happens, he's like, oh, well, explain to me why you're upset. Oh, I don't have time for this. Shut up. You do have time, because you had time to not say you didn't have time. That's super annoying. I hate that. Just like I hate love triangles, which, again, another thing in Cobra Kai, the love triangle. Literally, the love triangle. Literally, the love triangle. Literally. Stop with the love triangle. I hate it in The Legend of Korra, and I hate it here. I'm not gonna give you a pass because your show's pretty good. Sucks. Stop doing this petty girl crap. Think I'm crazy? Like, I'll get to that. But let's talk about LaRusso's taste in women. I hated every girl that he dated except Kumiko, or whatever that girl's name is, in Okinawa. Even Johnny's old girl, Allie, was super annoying, and she's still annoying. Literally, she's super annoying. She's the exact same amount of annoying. I just feel like everyone fell back into their place, and I'm so happy, because I'm so happy for people to get money from this and to get their role back. I'm so happy that most of the people came. Of course, may he rest in peace, Mr. Miyagi. He cannot, because he passed away. But I'm sure they're going to either do a deep fake, or they're going to have someone else come in, because a lot of people are saying that Miyagi is set to come in for the final season, or around the end of this season, because Terry's coming back. Like, I don't know how they're going to do that, but they did that with What's-Her-Face in Star Wars. If they want it bad enough, they will do it. They don't care about who's dead or alive. They really don't. They want money. And if people say they want Mr. Miyagi, we're going to see Mr. Miyagi. But overall, literally, Daniel's thing is balance, and he's very balanced. I hate how the show treats him and gives him the most annoying family next to the Family Guy family. Literally, I cannot stand his family. His daughter, Samantha, his wife, his son, who has no name. I have no idea what his name is, because it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. He literally just sits there and makes one-liners and stuff, and they're not even funny. He's just annoying. He's just the annoying brat. He literally is just... I'll get to him when I get to him, but I actually thought Danny was so well done from when he's not even a fast talker. He's not the exact same person he was in Karate Kid. So if you're expecting the exact same person, you're not going to like Cobra Kai, because he's not the exact same person. He plays adult, because he is an adult. He was an adult when he did that. By the way, when he did Karate Kid, he was like an adult. He's like 20 years older than everyone who's around him right now. And he has really good skin. He looks really young. But honestly, he is literally the foil to Johnny. Danny was never the bully. Daniel was never the bully. If you think Daniel was the bully at all, watching Karate Kid and watching Cobra Kai, you're a bully. You are a bully. This show was made to promote bullyism, because the only way to get what you want in Cobra Kai is to be a bully, except when the good guys are bullies. Then they're called out and sent to the principal's office, expelled, whatnot. Good guys can't be the bullies, but the bad guys can be bullies all day and night. I hate that too. I hate those types of shows, but this is good. I like this show, aside from all the horrible things. But let's talk about Amanda LaRusso, his wife. How did he even find her? Where was she? What circles were they going around in that they found each other. I don't know if he talks about it because I just glossed over it because I really could care less about Amanda. Like my ears turn off when I hear her voice. She literally is the most annoying character. I hate that they make women the most annoying character because already the incels are coming at any show with any type of femininity with hate. So when you make the women and the girls so dislikable, every single girl, when I tell you every single girl, except the girls that are only on the screen for 2 seconds, and even Kumiko, that girl, she has a little bit of annoyance to her voice. A little bit. I just feel like it's made purposefully. I can only see nothing but the worst intentions on making every woman terrible. There's not enough women in the writing room, or something's up, because Amanda was written so terribly. So terribly. She's one of the many examples of women being an afterthought. She's a horrible, unsupportive wife, terribly unfair mother who spawned a weakling and a little minion boy that I could care less about. She gets slightly less annoying throughout the series, honestly. I can say that. But gets the bright idea to call the cops after she assaults someone. I said in my previous video about Netflix Picks and Bricks, the Picks, all of their problems could have been solved if they called the cops the moment something was happening. I can't tell you exactly what happened, but something happens, and you'll know when it happens, because of course, if that happened to you, you would call the cops. This could have all been solved right then and there. There's fingerprints. They clean up the, like, I can't talk about it. I can't. But literally, she does that. She's stupid. She dum-dums. Amanda is used as a plot device to cause conflict rather than being her own person. Like Danielle LaRusso can act separate from the plot at hand. He may do things that affect the plot greatly, but the mom and all the girls seem to be set just as plot devices. All the girls, all the women and all the girls. I promise you. I am not lying when I say that. Go and watch it for yourself then. Go and watch it. The women were an afterthought, and that's what I have to say about that. Get more women writers in the writing room, because men can't do it. You guys aren't doing it, and then you complain about how women are like this when they're not. Here's an example of her being an afterthought and her just being a plot device. She grounds her daughter by taking her phone away, but not turning it off, so we can see that Miguel is trying to contact her. She says no more karate, even though without karate, her daughter would have been permanently maimed. Those are 2 examples. She just makes no sense. Her thought process has no grounding in reality. It has no logic behind it. And then she's horrible to her husband. And I actually thought that they were going to bring in, there's a dude that works alongside her at the car lots thing that they own. And I assumed, since they were sitting down drinking wine together without her husband, they were having an affair, but they never really talk about it. I have a strong feeling they were going to go to that, and then they stopped, because they knew that would have just been the icing on the cake with her. Like, she's going to be horrible and cheat? Really? Like, honestly, just literally, why not make her a gold digger at that? Why not, oh, well, I'm leaving you for someone stronger and better. Definitely not Johnny, because Johnny ain't got 2 pennies to rub together. But I'll talk about him when I talk about him. Overall, Amanda, bad character. Bad character. Bad. Written bad is bad. I don't blame the actress, but I do blame the writers for writing her that way, and the executives for not having enough care for any other women or girls in the cast. Literally. Get out of here. Nobody says, oh my goodness, my favorite character is Samantha. Oh my goodness, my favorite character is Tori. She's so cool. No, they intended for us to hate them in particular. Even though Hawk, even though Miguel, even though literally every other guy is terrible. And when I say terrible, I do mean terrible. All the girls seem to have one up on them on being disliked, because they are like, oh, well, Miguel's terrible and garbage and trash, but at least he looks good. At least he does this and that. Like, honestly, they give him qualities that outweigh the horribleness of what they do, which I don't believe actually does. I just see their attempt in doing that, and it fails to me. But they intended for all the girls to suck and all the guys to have at least one quality to them that made them not suck as much that the girls lacked. Speaking of Samantha LaRusso, she sucks too. What a loser. Drinking doesn't make you cool, by the way. Literally. How do you study to learn karate? Literally from when you, like, why were we shown a scene of this girl in diapers, basically karate, hi-ya, and you literally suck. You literally are worse than the girl who just does Krav Maga or whatever it's called when she was 16. How are you so weak? Like, she pulls it through by the end, of course. And yeah, you can play this game. I know they didn't want to do a Mary Sue, but let's talk about Mary Sue real quick. Let's just talk about it. I'm not here for it. I'm sick of y'all. Y'all want realism till it's too real. Then girls can't possibly do nothing. Where this is fiction. If you don't understand fiction, then don't partake in fiction. You need to just be in reality. I think it's interesting that every guy flick and all that, they can be butt ugly, have nothing to offer, especially Johnny. Johnny's one of those Mary Sue type people. He has everything handed to him. He doesn't have to change. He doesn't have to change or do anything. And he becomes super popular with all these kids and all that. And yeah, it's eventually gone, but he gets what he wants by the end of the day. By the end of the day, he gets to sleep with whoever he wants. He gets to go on a date with whoever he wants, being loser and scrub. Honestly, I don't get it. Women, the moment they get a little bit of power, we're Mary Sue's. I actually thought Cora was quite weak. I don't understand why, like, people call her a Mary Sue and whatnot. Whatever. Every single male protagonist in every single movie is a Mary Sue. They don't have to work for anything. Everything's handed to them. They can be but ugly. Disgusting. But girls have to have like all this makeup and have to look so good, or else they're just not seen as worthy of anything. And that's what I have to say about Mary Sue's. I don't care about them. Don't come at me. Whatever. Because for every one Mary Sue that is out on this earth that y'all have allowed to become a part of pop culture, there's about 10 to 15 other guys that fit that same thing, except you want to be him. And that's why guys don't talk about it, because they would rather have their own Mary Sues and eat the cake and want to be like them. But when a woman has the exact same thing, we can't have aspirations. We can't aspire to be great. We have to aspire to be subpar everywhere. Even if it's fiction, we have to make sure that, the super guy has to be twice as strong as the super girl. This is fiction. Even if you believe that in your own life, it's fiction. Freaking get over it. Get over it. Someone should have told you that when you were in middle school. Got adults complaining about girls being strong, about girls having things handed to them, like guys get handed to them all the time, 24/7. I'm sick of seeing these stupid Adam Sandler movies where he gets the girl even though he ugly, even though he has no job, even though he has no talent at all. I'm so sick of seeing MTV keep promoting all his stupid movies and they're garbage. Literally, I only like 2 Adam Sandler movies. The rest of them are garbage, hideous trash, where a girl that's half decently good looking has to fight tooth and nail just for him to look at her. It's disgusting. But I wouldn't put it past them to have made Samantha weak, because even though she had training from her father, who was a 2-time champion, Mr. Miyagi-Do belt dude, they would have said she was too strong. Even though she has all this talent behind it and all this time and effort put into karate, she had to be weak. And then Tori, the way, I'll get to her, but I have to say this. The way they did Tori was, it's anger. It's the woman anger. It's that wrath of a woman scorned. Like, honestly, really, like, we have more than just scorned. We have passion. We have love. We have literally everything that guys have as well. So quit playing. Stop acting like we're not just human and we can't have emotions. I'm sick of you think I'm crazy? Oh, you're going to take my boyfriend? I'm going to kill you. Like, really? Like, she's the one that, like, I'll get to Tori the simp after. I'm not done smearing the crap out of Samantha LaRusso's situation. Like I said, how do you study and learn karate so young and get beat by some ragamuffin rascal? Then they make her scared of Tori, but whatever. Another girl that causes my senses to short circuit. The way she is written is awful. But let's keep talking about Samantha. Samantha shouldn't be with Robbie or Miguel. They both suck. I'm unhealthily attracted to Elijah, but honestly, she should just be single. Or pull a hippie girl and get a girlfriend. And another, like that other girl as well. Literally every girl is just made to be hated. Every girl is just made to be hated. She's annoying. And then her situation makes Hawk annoyed because he wanted to be with her, but now she's gay. She could be bisexual, but who knows? She doesn't specify if she's bisexual or gay. We just assume she's bisexual because she was with a guy and a girl. But literally, like, there's not a single girl or woman in this show that wasn't created for us to hate. No chance. There's no chance given for any of them. Even Miguel's mother. And I'll get to that when I get to her. The way Samantha was written, so stupid and dipsy. With the way she initially treats Aisha, but her mother encourages this. Again, Mom of the Year, man. Woo! 2-time champ. Let's go. Gonna tell her to not talk to the black girl. How does that look? How does that look? Oh, you should be with the popular kids, the white girls, the whiteys. Okay. No escapism for us. She's definitely Daniel's daughter because she has, like, no taste. Daniel has no taste in women. She has no taste in guys. I'm done with Samantha. Literally, I'm done. She makes my blood boil. Her, every time I see her on the screen, every time I see her face, makes my blood boil. The character, I mean, not the actress. I'm not talking about the actresses or actors. When I say ugly or anything, I'm talking about the character. Okay? I'm not talking about them. The next is the son who has no name, or I just don't know, because he's literally dying for useful dialogue. He's just the annoying brother, like I said before. Literally, his existence serves like such little purpose that they could have casted a different actor for every scene he had, and you would never know the difference. Every other male character has a good character, even if they're not a good guy. The girls are badly written, just as he is. Now, before I get into the rest of the cast, let's talk about the Lawrences. All of them, for the most part. Johnny Lawrence, a.k.a. the bully from Karate Kid 1, grew up logically a deadbeat dad, working call-in jobs for women who somehow don't fall for his charms. Again, like every woman, literally, if you see a woman, they were told before, they had that dude, the director, put his hand on their shoulder and said, be as horrible and as unlikable as possible. Please, do it. So I can add to the propaganda, please. In their eyes, looked in their eyes, and then said action. Because that's what they act like. Every woman on this, every girl, every woman, every girl, they all are unlikable. There's not a single one I can like. Not one. Not even Aisha. They make her horrible too. And then they get rid of her. Gone. Bye-bye, black. There goes am I supposed to like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to like Miguel because he's the only dark-skinned person left on the cast? Am I supposed to relate to his mom because she's a woman? Whatever. Johnny is written all right. His actor is one of the best. He makes me hate Johnny more than I did in Karate Kid. Honestly, that's how you know someone's a good actor. When they can make you hate the character, they're a good actor. That's why villains are usually more liked than the heroes. Johnny, as a character, is a slimy, smelly, drunken loser who beats up kids in, like, the first episode. It's hilarious. This is more like a comedy. There's a lot of comedic relief that goes on in Johnny's stratosphere. Stuff like that makes me angry a little bit because he gets away with too many things like that. Eventually, the law becomes a problem, but like only as a plot device. So he can't see his son. He should have been arrested and stayed in jail, but he makes bail and whatnot or whatever. He gets out, of course. They don't even hide these plot devices, literally. They tried to hide them within the girls and women. They tried to hide them within, even ironically, if you look at it, a lot of the ethnic people are used as plot devices rather than being characters. Like, here's an example. Here's an example if you think I'm lying. Spoiler. This is an all spoiler review. Spoiler. Robbie goes to jail for busting the crap out of Miguel's back. But he goes and he keeps getting beat up by this dark-skinned black dude. And they eventually become friends, I guess, after they fight, which is another thing, guys. They do fight and they get over it. But girls will fight and then they won't. I hate that. I hate that for us. I hate that for my kind. Stop. Just, if you're going to fight and then be done. That's it. No worrying about what happens next. Just be done when you fight. This Lori Samantha thing should have been done when they fought the first time. How many times are they going to keep fighting? It's super annoying. But Robbie, his whole issue in jail and whatnot, among the other things he's got to deal with, he's got to contend with that black dude. And it's like, yeah, I can see on one hand, it's just like, so you want all the ethnic people to not know, but it's real interesting that only they move the plot. Like, Aisha moves the plot a certain way, and she's not really her own character. We don't even get to see her parents together. We just see Tootie come in beatboxing one time. They could only afford her for 2 seconds, I guess. The dad is some football player. How are you going to get bullied at school and your family's, like, famous? And yeah, the Kardashians, I'm sure they were in school. They would get beat up, but not beat up, but I'm sure they would get teased. But guess what? That's not realistic. There's some, like, they would probably do it behind their back, but they would want to be their friend. Aisha would not be an outcast. Her father is supposedly some famous dude. The guys would at least be trying to talk to her just to talk to the father, if nothing else. And they don't even talk about that. They just literally kick off Aisha. And I haven't looked into it. I don't know if there was a problem, but I am certain it could either be there was a problem where she didn't feel safe or comfortable on set, and eventually, because that's what they do, they make us uncomfortable on set so that we'll quit, and they're like, oh, well, I guess you don't want this job, even though she's super light-skinned. She was not even my representation, just to let you know. She's not my representation. She's just the one that I have to accept because that's what you guys want. But back to Johnny. Despite his lack of literally anything, he has no home, he doesn't own anything, he has no money, he has no job. Allie, Miguel's mom, and the children idolize him and act like he's, like, more than he is. But Daniel has things to offer and karate. But he always seems to be, like, 2 steps behind Johnny, which is, it's one of those things where it's like, if there were no conflict, there would be no show. So I completely understand. I completely understand why it has to exist that way. But it's annoying to me. Johnny never really has to change. Just the circumstances around him do. Like, he got that money for Miguel's thing and his mom. Oh, yeah, okay. But so what? Are we supposed to think that she's prostituting herself for the money now? Like, what? It's just super cringe. She could have just said thank you. Could have baked him some tamales or something. She did not have to sleep with Johnny. And I hate that she does. She's a simp for it. Especially since no sooner did he roll out the bed with her, did he go straight and talk to Allie. Just to let you know that happens. Within 2 seconds of him bedding that woman, he talks to Allie and goes on a date with her. Simp behavior. Fresh out the bed after just having sex with Miguel's mom, he goes to see Allie and flexes what little edge he thinks he has against Daniel. He's a whole married man with 2 kids and his own business. Johnny, you can have Allie. Literally, go have her, but she don't want you, does she? It seems like she wants him, but he's like, nah. And then we're supposed to, like, feel good that he doesn't cheat on Miguel's mom. Like, first, okay, yeah, they could just be having a fling and it's whatever. But I think it's real interesting that when guys want to date out or do something, everything's considered a fling. But when girls text another guy, oh, these hoes ain't loyal. Like, okay, dude. Johnny is acting real skanky, going on a date and then rolling out the bed. with some girl. Honestly, Johnny and Daniel's feud is really one-sided. Danny was right in trying to stop Cobra Kai because it's toxic. Teaching kids how to be bullies. Johnny was such a loser. He had it snatched. He's such a loser. He had Cobra Kai snatched out from underneath him by Reese. Like, he snatched all the kids. He's just super annoying because he doesn't have to work for anything. Literally, to get what he wants. He proves nothing against Miguel's mom to get her trust. She just says he does. Her son actually becomes a douchebag. And she's like, oh, you've helped my son so much. Thank you. Like, okay. So what? He gave you money. That does not mean you have to sleep with him. Just because a guy gives you money, do not think you have to sleep with him. If you're not a prostitute and that's not what you're here for, you don't have to do that. I'm telling all the women who's watching this, you don't have to. Before anyone claims the boyfriend thing as a rite of passage for him to... She doesn't know that he beat that dude up and he never came back because he beat him up. And he was out on a date with another girl, yes. But guess what? Johnny did the same thing. So what? Who's going to beat up Johnny? Who's going to beat up Johnny from going on a date right after sleeping with her? Who's going to do it? I will. Fight me. I'm sure he wouldn't have beat up that dude if he didn't want her available anyway. Literally. And he likes to fight. So it's like Mr. Miyagi didn't help Daniel in hopes of scoring with his mom. He saw a boy in need and helped him. And even when he wanted to join the tournament, he's like, no, karate's not for that. I don't like it. The only reason why he did the tournament was because he wasn't going to stop. He wasn't going to stop because Cobra Kai never dies. Cobra Kai. Literally, Cobra Kai reminds me of like the Marine Corps. Honestly, like, y'all really need to stop getting on my nerves. Literally, I don't feel bad for Johnny solely because his father was mentally abusive. Yes, I can understand that shapes the way you are, but it's just like he doesn't change. Johnny doesn't change. He does not change from 1 to 2 to 3 Cobra Kai seasons. He doesn't change. He's the same literal douchebag that'll go off in a second. But Daniel changes. He changes how he is. And I don't know if that's how they wanted the show to be, but I just think that's super annoying. It's annoying. It doesn't make the show bad at all. It actually makes it entertaining. But it's like one of those things like, yeah, eventually a show is supposed to be something that is reoccurring, I guess. While a movie is something where it's easier to shorten the span and make someone a different person by the end. Because it's a whole story. Not much to say about Johnny's dad other than that. But I mean, Johnny's baby mama is another woman whose sole purpose of existing is to move the plot along. Of course, she's an addict who puts men before her troubled son, just giving ammunition to the incels. Oh, yeah, that's how moms are. Yeah. Super annoying. She can't even be her own person, but like without the only way Robbie can be the way he is if his mom's that way. And that's what I'm saying. They use women to move the plot along without giving her an actual character. Like, everyone who has a character, you can describe who they are. In fact, and I'm going to say this about his actor is the worst of the cast. I don't believe him as much as I believe everyone else. He has resting mean face, and when he doesn't, he looks like he's bewildered and he doesn't know where he is. But that doesn't ruin the show, by the way. That's just a critique I have of his acting. Everybody else literally acts better than he does. And everyone's acting circles around him, especially that 16-year-old boy. It's funny because he's the youngest. The dude that's Hawk's friend, and I also have to see how old that girl is that kissed him because he's 16, so how old is she? That boy that's his friend, I don't know what his name is, but he's like really good actor for being 16 years old. And everyone else is like an adult in the show. They're just short, but like I said, Johnny's baby mama is just the archetype terrible mother, chain smoker, alcoholic. Nothing much to say about her, but I like her more than I like LaRusso's wife, hilariously enough. Now, let's talk about Robbie. Robbie, the character, is a pickle. He's written well, but like I said, the actor is just like, it's hard to watch sometimes. He basically is a jerk, and he's a liar. And then he tries to make it seem like, oh my goodness, Samantha, why didn't you text me? She literally been calling you, been messaging you. It's like, well, why didn't you keep going? Like, okay, I'm not gonna simp for you. The one thing I will say about Samantha is she moved on, and that's fine, because of course you're gonna move on when dude's in prison, dude's in jail after that. What'd you think after lying to her about Miguel coming over? I didn't want him to score points with you. That's for her to decide. That's for her to decide if she wants that. But I hate the fact that it did score points for him, because Miguel is a jerk and he shouldn't be with her anyway. And I think it's hilarious they're like together. And let's talk about Miguel, because I really have nothing much really to say about Robbie, except maybe he needs to take some acting classes, because it's really prevalent when there's so many of these actors that are way better around him. It's hard for me to, he reminds me of like a drama kid. Like he's on that level while everybody else is on the level of actually being in a movie or something. It's hard. It's super hard and jarring. But Miguel, let's talk about Miguel real quick. Miguel is annoying. He's gross. He's a jerk. He's a punk. He's a loser. And he didn't start out that way. He was molded by Johnny because he doesn't have a father. And everyone's saying supposedly Miguel's father is somebody from Cobra Kai 3, one of the bullies. And I would think that would be pretty cool, but I would hate it, because once again, like, stop having to put Anglo-Saxons. Not every ethnic person is going to marry an Anglo-Saxon or be with an Anglo-Saxon. You can have 2 black people together, 2 Hispanic people together, 2 Asian people together. You don't have to add an Anglo-Saxon so you can keep the Anglo-Saxon count up. That's literally how they do it. That's the reason why that happens. If it's just one ethnic person, they have to be with someone who's Anglo-Saxon. And I don't care if he's some drug lord or whatever. Like, there's issues that can occur when you make certain people a certain ethnicity, but you have to take it into account and deal with it, honestly. There's nothing else you can do. You can't just be afraid to put ethnic people in a role because you think that they're horrible. How about have more ethnic people so that they're not all horrible? How about that? Because as far as I can see, every ethnic person on the show is terrible. Except the callback characters from Okinawa. I feel like everybody is terrible in a way. But Miguel's terrible. Asian dude's terrible. Aisha turns terrible. Let's talk about Aisha real quick. Her family never gets to be seen together. Barely. For 2 seconds, we see her mom, Tootie, from The Facts of Life. Because they can only afford her for 2 seconds, I'm sure. The father barely gets to be seen. And why didn't they get someone who was really a celebrity, maybe change his name, but a football player? I don't know if they really did get a football player. I don't know nothing about football. But it would have been nice to see someone who was famous for football and in that role. But Aisha's real light-skinned. They turn her into a bully, and then they kick her off the show. I don't know if she's going to come back and forth, but she moved away because of that whole fight that happened in the school. It's like real interesting that she's going to a private school now, when she's the only black person of the main cast. What are the odds? Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? That she's gone now. Bye-bye, representation paper bag. Bye. See you later. Now, the only person that I can associate myself with is, the dude that's in prison? The dude that was stealing? Let's see who else. Let's see who other black people are on the show. We'll do that. Switch sides. I think that's it. I think that's about it. Oh, that dark-skinned girl that was making fun of Sam for being traumatized. I can relate to none of those people. None of those people I can relate to. So thank you. And there's only one Asian dude, aside from the people that came back from the Karate Kid. And he's a jerk trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do. I don't know if he was trying to get a hand job or a blow job. I don't know what he was trying to do. But he was like, oh, look at my pocket. Like, nasties. But I don't know. Robbie's terrible and he's white. But he's also Johnny's son. So, of course, he's going to be terrible. Like I said, there's a bunch of terrible people in the show. I don't necessarily know how I like it. But I like it. Like I said, it's entertaining. I suggest you guys go watch it. All these characters, it's terrible. Let's talk about Lori. She's that girl. I've never seen Jessie or whatever it's called from Disney Channel. She's like a Disney kid, I think. And a lot of people said they didn't like it. And she's just a jerk. She's the archetype of the scorned woman whose boyfriend cheated, and now she's gonna kill the girl even though the girl owed nothing to you, and in fact you were terrible to her, so you didn't like her in the first place. Why don't you beat up Miguel? Why don't you put that black belt to use and beat up Miguel, who owed you loyalty? That's a big simp thing. A woman simp is going to blame women for their man cheating. That's what they do. If you don't want to look like Boo Boo the Fool, you most definitely will not blame a woman. The only way I would say that you could be upset at all under any circumstance is if they're related to you. Even if they're your friend, and even it's like, let's talk about this whole Jordan Woods thing. How is Khloe Kardashian going to be more mad at a girl who didn't owe her anything, who wasn't even her friend? She was her sister's friend, for kissing someone, when Jordan Woods literally was not in a relationship with her. Tristan Thompson was in a relationship with her. So one thing she's going to say, and I know she's going to say, is, well, he's the father of my... Shut up. Shut up. Any man, any figure or at all, but any man in particular can be the father, can be the dad. You don't need to, like, can you see blood? Can you see blood type? Does it matter? Does it freaking matter what guy is there as long as there's a guy that's there and supportive? You have too much money to be bringing this dude around who belongs to the streets. You have too much money to be sitting here complaining about how you're getting cheated on. You should have, the first time that should have happened, you should have, like, literally threw him back to the wolves. He shouldn't have been back up in your house or your yacht. I don't care if he was the sperm donor. Any man can be a dad. So with this whole Tory thing, she's stupid. She's a stupid idiot, because why is she going to fight this girl? She already didn't like her, like I said. So she's already got that on her. But it's going to make it worse by, oh, you kissed Miguel when literally you're the interloper, actually, because she and him were together before you even pulled up on scene. So freaking get out of here. Bye-bye now. Go somewhere else. I cannot stand her. She's super gross. But I'm excited. Like, I literally could not. Well, the first season, I was like, okay. Second season, I was almost done. I almost didn't finish it because I was so appalled by how the women were treated, how the women are treated, how the women are turned into these unlikable creatures. Unlikable. Literally, you can tell the whole crew is male. You can tell. Even when women are in spaces, we have no option but to make the best thing we can, or else we're called losers and we can't do nothing and we're weak. But guys get to do whatever willy-nilly thing they want with any script and turn women into these plot devices that are not characters. They're not characters. They're just strictly there to move the plot along. You can't remember their face. You can't list a single trait about them except they're annoying. That's something I hope is fixed in season 4. Let's talk about dishonorable mentions before I conclude this video. Reese, I love his character. I hate his character, but I love his character. Like, the actor, I respect him so much for coming back and just falling right back into this. It's so cool. I hope he gets more roles from this. I hope that we get to see him in a different light rather than being just the mean person. I hope we get to see him in other things. The bullies, I'm so happy that the bullies came back from Karate Kid 1. One of them passed away, sadly. The dude that actually literally passed away on TV, which is like, wow. He did look sick. He really did look sick. And I guess he was. Elijah, like I said, I don't know. I have a very unhealthy attraction to his character because he is supposed to be a jerk and a loser, and us women, we need to never be with jerks and losers. I would never be around Hawk if I was in that situation. I would literally try to beat him up every day, any chance I could, just like Johnny was beating up Danny. I actually hope season 4, his mohawk is purple, because he's done the blue and red thing and put it together and make purple. I hypothesize green, but I actually do believe it'll be purple, so we'll see. But his character is just so correct. He's a child actor. He's been in a lot of things before, and I didn't even notice. He plays this character so well that it's scary. But dude, that's 16 years old, I can't remember his name. I really can't. Sorry, but he's a very good actor for his age. Like I said, Aisha was written out of the script. The only black girl on the light-skinned black girl, but black girl nonetheless. I will never take that away from light-skinned people, but literally knocked her off the crap of the face of the earth. Oh, she went to a boarding school. Like, I'm not buying it. Y'all wrote her out for some reason, and I may get to the bottom of it and talk about it because it's just so disgusting. Like, what am I supposed to do? Why am I here? I can't talk about Aisha. I get too filled with rage. Miguel, gross, disgusting. Miguel's mom, gross and disgusting. Simp for Johnny. Just because he paid for your son's thing, you do not have to have sex with him. He's literally done nothing to prove to you that he is worth your time, other than make your son into a bully who is juggling two girls at this point. Because he never really said to Lori, I'm breaking up with you, basically. He never told her that. So it's kind of jerkish. And then Samantha, jerk. It's too much. I'm really excited to see Terry shake up this monotony, really. It kind of got annoying by the end. I'm so happy that everyone who did move to Miyagi-Do went to Miyagi-Do. I was so happy that Hawk stopped playing games because he broke his friend's arm. I'm telling you, if someone breaks my arm, we're not going to be friends again. But that, like I said, guys, they can fight and be over it. And we got to figure out why we can't. We just have to figure it out. Because in the end, they'll still care about each other against us. So, bottom line, it's a good show. The people, literally, you have to like turn off your brain for some parts because it just makes no sense why certain things happen. But plot-wise, I understand why it happens. I'll do a after review of season 4 when I watch it, when it comes out. But that's basically it. If you want to see a little rundown of what I said about it before, you have to go to my Netflix Picks and Bricks videos, Picks Part 1. Link is in the description, Part 1 and 2. I do recommend this show despite all the flaws. Like I said, I can, just like I was talking about Resident Evil, I can talk about all the flaws of Resident Evil and still be like, yeah, I like this game. Honestly, there's always room for improvement, and I notice that there's a lot of improving that needs to be done between season 3 and season 4. And hopefully Terry Silver, the way he acts, it's just a joke. Hopefully he was very campy. The third one was super duper campy. Super campy. Super campier than anyone that has ever been on screen. Karate Kid 3 is the campiest one, and it was the one I least liked. So hopefully Terry Silver doesn't like ruin the show for me, because it was really out of place. It made literally it was really strange. Like, you just have to watch Karate Kid 3. It's super duper strange. Like, watch 1. It's a cohesive movie. Watch part 2 and you're like, okay, this is cohesive. It's a little crazy and it's funny. It's a little funny at the end. Live or die, man. It's hilarious. But the third one is just has literally none of the seriousness of the first 2 movies. I can't take it seriously. And half of that is because of the actors who played the bullies aren't too imposing. And Terry Silver is 100% not threatening. He's just very tall. He is super duper tall. And that's the only thing about him that's threatening. He smiles and he's laughing about it, and he's basically like, he reminds me of the Joker and the Riddler mixed together. I don't know. But that's basically it Like and subscribe if you like it. It's a long one. Sorry, just watch it in increments, honestly. Like, there really is no reason to not watch in increments. If you're on YouTube, they pause it where you stop, so that's it. If you want to talk about Cobra Kai in the comments, we can. This was a not so quick bit. Hope you guys have a great day. The next videos I will be posting, I have no idea. Have no freaking idea. I'm still playing Resident Evil 0. The moment I'm done with Resident Evil 0, I will be making a review on it, and I will be starting my review marathon with each one. I don't think I will be playing Resident Evil 1 over again, because I've already played it and beat it, the remastered one. I've already beat Resident Evil 2. I may not play that, but I may play it just because. 3, I've never played, so I have to play it. I'll buy it and play it and post it on YouTube. I'm not playing 4. I'm just not, like, you can't pay me enough to play Resident Evil 4 again. I've already played it on PC. I'm done with it. I'll just make the review after I'm done playing 3. 5, I'm trying to play. I want to get a co-op player, so I don't know if I'm going to ask someone or I don't know, but I really want to play co-op with someone for 5 and 6. Because I hate 6, and the only way I can get through it is if I'm able to talk to someone through the whole thing. And 7, I've already played 7. I'm not going to play 7 again. It was super annoying, and it's not really fun. And the enemies are basic. You've got molded, you've got big molded with big arms, you've got molded with small arms, and you've got molded lickers. And that's basically all we got. We've got, oh yeah, I forgot. Molded big daddies. We've got those 2 that explode. That's it. The enemies are boring. Not really fond of Resident Evil 7 at all under any circumstance. I actually thought Resident Evil 8 was a little bit better in terms of enemies, even though a lot of them are just the same design over and over again. But I'm done. Done with Cobra Kai. Hope you guys have a great day.